Good evening, everybody. How are you? It's almost Christmas time. I hope everybody's feeling festive and doing well. My eye seems to be better. Don't mess with Billy Tucci. Just kidding, of course. Um, I'm Phil Russert. This is Creatorcon Q A, and this is our last show before the Christmas holiday. But we have some awesome guests tonight and Sunday and Tuesday. So anyway, before we do that, we get into our shout outs as usual. For all your comic needs, Mad Titan _comics on Instagram, and Eric Gunderson is the owner-operator on Facebook, so please check them out. So a lot of awesome podcasts out there. This Sunday, 1 p.m., go check out Comics Cast with Joe Tolliver and Gerald Motos. They're a great group of guys, do great on the indie scene. Go check them out Sunday, 1 p.m. And for other content that they will be carrying, of course, so please check them out. You've got Android's amazing podcast with James and Hunter. Go check out what's the latest news of the week and comic news. They're really intelligent guys. They really know the industry. They know the comic books. They know their mythology of comics. So go check them out. Of course, there's the Bit and Apple with Rafael Tavares Jr. And Saturdays they have shows, I believe, at 1 p.m. And there's Mark Torres and his crew with It Came From the Radio, so please go check them out. Andy Lee, awesome dude. Thank you for the websites. Thank you for the promo graphics. He is www.lesdudis.com, LESDUDIS.com, Andy Lee. So go check him out. And lastly, Enrique Lopez. It's Art by Kike on Instagram, and every Monday night at 8 p.m. he has Inking with Kike as a special guest. He actually just had on Sigmatori, who is the colorist that I am happy and fortunate to represent. So go check out that interview and see what Sigmund's all about. Anyway, having said that, I am going to introduce my guest. My guest is a Kubert graduate living in Chile right now, back home in Chile, I should say. She's an awesome person, an amazing artist. She's even an inker and colorist. I mean, what can she do? We're going to get into her projects and things she's been doing, and I'm going to show you some work that I had gotten from her. I'm supposed to be live on YouTube, Andy. I don't know why it's not. I linked it to YouTube, unless it's going to my Legendary page by accident. I'll upload it later. Thank you for letting me know. Anyway, having said that, without further ado, Sid Venturini.
Hey, hi, everybody.
How are you? Starting it off great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I clicked it, but maybe I accidentally clicked Legendary because my last show was for Legendary Illustrations, and I added that. So I guess we're broadcasting on Facebook. I'll upload this on YouTube later.
No problem.
Most of the views come here on Facebook anyway. So how the hell are you?
Oh, it's great. I'm really happy to be here. I've been waiting and kind of preparing myself since you asked me to join your show on September. Yeah.
Cool.
So, no, it's been exciting. Your show is awesome. So I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you. Hey, Mike, how are you? We have a few hellos.
Hi.
Mike said hi. So real quick, before we get into it, I met Sid at, what was it? New York Comic Con.
It was New York.
I met you. But
a year ago.
Yeah, wow, more than a year ago.
More than a year.
But I didn't get. I don't think I got work from you then. But I got work from you at PowCon in Brooklyn last January. And this is one of the pieces. I just want everybody to see how incredibly insane this is. I mean, it's Arcee the Transformer. I mean, the lines on this are so clean and so tight. I mean, I was floored when I got this.
It was so nice to work on that.
It wasn't blurry before. Why is it blurry now? Well, either way, I mean, that is the quality of work that you get from Sid as a penciler. She is phenomenal. You really are a phenomenal penciler. I just want to show one other piece right now before we get into the interview, because I want people to see what you are capable of. This was my Gatchaman, or you know it as Battle of the Planets. Look at that.
You know, the best thing is that all the things you've you have asked me to do for you are just like huge kicks into my childhood in the good way, because
Well,
it's
you could
stuff
tell.
I barely like within it's stuff you see when you're a kid, and then within the years you kind of forget about it, and then you're like, hey, remember this show? I want you to draw me about this show. And it was just like all my fan hype about it comes back to me. It was just, oh yes, I need to get back to it. And I watched it again, and it was awesome working
That
on
is
all the
so
pieces you
cool.
asked me. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's small. I'm gonna see if I can blow it up. But this was Voltron versus Ghidorah, um, that you did for me. It's not gonna
Yeah.
come in clear, I don't think. I'll have to show this later. Yeah, it's coming in fuzzy, I think. But look at
Spoiler
that.
alert.
But just look at the composition. Ghidorah is all around Voltron. It's just awesome. I mean, and the work you did on the scales, and you draw
Yeah.
robots like nobody's business. I mean, wow.
I love robots.
Yeah, there'll be more commissions from you in the future for sure in the new year.
And it would be a
Um,
pleasure to do them.
so while Sid's talking with us, she's going to be drawing another RC live. We're going to bring that up. And okay, why did it do that? There we go.
It's a Christmas
So
season Arcee.
oh, nice. That's cool. The Christmas season. I mean, the lines are just incredible. So let's get into it. I mean, the typical question: what got you into art?
Um, I can't say it would be the same answer as every good passionate artist. Since I remember, I remember, like failing tests in primary school because the test would ask me to write an answer, and instead of that, I would draw it. And then teacher would be like, that's an amazing answer, but that's not what I asked you, so you failed. uh, but since the beginning, apparently I had the ability to put my thoughts into pictures and images more than letters, more than words. And I never actually knew what to do with it. I just knew that I wanted to keep doing it. So even after I graduated college, even after I entered, um, even once I went to this Kubert school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew that I wanted to keep drawing and keep better at it. And here I am.
Well, you're succeeding. We got a few things. First, Andy wants to say he's excited for tonight's episode. Hi, Sid.
Andy! Miss you!
Yeah, he's one of the greats. Great guy. And of course, we got Roberto, Artist Allies. Shout out.
Oh, hi, boss.
Sid did an amazing job as usual. If you want to give a shout out to Artist Allies and Roberto, please do.
Yes.
So
I
Roberto is your rep.
Yeah, I also met him at a Comic-Con the year before I met you, and he's representing my friend Sarah Madura, and I was with her, just helping her in her table. And I took that as a chance for me to know how it felt to be in a table because I had done no shows before. So Roberto would come over back and forward, checking on all his artists, and he would see me drawing something. He's like, "You're the one who draw robots, right?" Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask you for something. And he would leave. And the next day he would come back. He's like, "Remember, I'm gonna ask you for something." I'm like, "Okay." And he would leave again because he was just too busy. And eventually we talked more, and he asked me, I like what you're doing. I like that you're one of the few people who draws this kind of stuff, Transformers and robots. It's not a common subject, so I want you in my team. And yeah, of course I say yes, mostly because I wanted this huge opportunity to be part of conventions and all these shows that where I come from in Chile are really hard to get into.
Right.
So yeah, I took this chance and I just went to it. And honestly, I'm really glad that it's been working great. At
Well,
least,
Roberto got you into New York Comic Con, so that's the big one. Yeah, Roberto's good at that. He's good at getting you those good shows.
yeah, he got me
Absolutely.
to really good shows for a whole year. I was busy, and Sarah and I would go together in her car all over the year to different shows everywhere. It was great. I also got the chance to meet the country because before that I was only in Jersey. And thanks to these shows, I had the chance to meet Boston, Chicago, Pennsylvania, uh, which other places? Well, many enough for me to be like, yeah, now I know more than Jersey. So
That's good. That's good.
yeah, I'm really thankful
Yeah,
for that.
I look forward to being able to travel to shows. A lot of people are missing it right now.
Mm,
Alex, thanks for coming out, Alex. He said hello and he said nice drawing.
thank
And
you.
Diver Down is in the house. Diver Down can paint himself, and he said that's impressive. He's also a funny dude, actor. He does a lot of stuff. Anyway,
Awesome.
thanks for coming out, everybody.
Hmm.
So, so when did you, you decided, all right, you know what? I love drawing. This is what I want to do. What's your next step? Where do you go from there?
Mm,
You
so
went,
I
so you went to the
knew I
Kubert school, right?
Yeah, but before that, I did a whole journey, a 5 years long journey doing a major on digital design. That's the name of it. Because I still didn't know what I wanted to do. Studying abroad was never even a concept in my mind, but I wanted to do more than just kids' books with illustration. Because usually when you study illustration, at least in the major here, you don't get much really far. You always end up doing like school books, little drawings for school books, or kindergarten books or something like that. I wanted to do more, and I wasn't sure what. It's not like I had many options out here, so I entered this major, and they told me it was about animation and video games. And sadly, that was just one of the classes, because honestly, the whole major was about processing, scripting, coding, robotics, digital interfaces. And as much as I love that stuff, it's not what I wanted to do.
Right.
I think during those 5 years, I may have drawn in 2 or 3 classes. So it wasn't much. And around halfway there, when I was doing my second year, I didn't realize that that was not what I wanted to do. And I got a message from the Kubert school, because they saw my daily art, and they liked what I did back in the time. And they asked me if I was interested in doing the not online classes, but the email ones,
Okay.
correspondence. So I was like, maybe these are hoax. I've never heard of a school that teaches comics, so I'm going to look into this, because I can't say yes to this. It's way too good to be true. And yeah, it was true. There's an actual school that teaches comics, and even more, it's a physical school. It's there. It's a building, and you get there, and they teach you about comics. It was just it sounded amazing. So I
Did you
talked
know who
about.
Joe Kubert was?
I had to read about it, because I had no idea. Honestly, I wasn't even really into comics. I was through a whole Japanese animation
Okay.
stage. I just knew the very basics of comics, not really much. But I talked with my father about it, saying that's what I want to do. I want to go. I want to physically go to the school and study there. So my dad says, "Are you sure you want to?" Because it's a big decision. It's not like just going
Sure.
to the school in the other city. It's about going to a whole different country in the other side of the world to study that. Um, they weren't worried that I was going to leave the country, because I've done that before. It was just that it's an investment. So I decided to first, because I have a huge sense of honor and dignity. So I felt like I didn't want to drop out my major, so I decided to finish this major, even though I still had 3.5 years left to do. But I decided to finish it. I wanted to go to the school and like earn my opportunity to go there by finishing this thing first.
Nice.
Uh, and I'm glad I did, because I did learn a lot of stuff that I may not use like as a job, but I learned about like keeping up, determination, patience, and just other more stuff that I still use.
I think the
And
greatest lesson was that you learn to stick it out and be patient and
mm,
fulfill your obligations, which is important.
definitely, because believe me, there were classes I just wanted to die. I hated. Like I know it's fun to make little LED lights turn on with a button, but I don't want to do this. It's just like, please. And I suffered the next 3 years, but I got through them. I didn't fail any class, and I finished school. And as soon as I finished college, my next goal was like, everybody asking, what are you going to do now? I'm leaving. I finished. I earned this. I'm going to the States. And so that same year, I organized everything, and I went 2017, and I went to New Jersey and into the school. And that's when I felt for real, okay, this is it. Now I'm actually starting my training as an artist.
Nice. Now, how scary was that? I mean, you didn't know anybody. There was no place to live. I mean, that's a big jump in and swim, right?
It is. It was. I knew I was getting into a dorm. I had no idea what I was going to do. I don't want to get into politics, but the U.S. president had just been elected the year before, and he was doing a lot of changes concerning Latin American people. So honestly, when I was going there, I was kind of very nervous. I wasn't sure what were they going to ask me, if they were going to stop me at the airport. I was even a little afraid of speaking, like if they would notice my Spanish accent. Luckily, nothing like that happened. It was just getting scared because the press shows you that image of oppression over people. But I'm really glad I got to meet and live with an amazing group of girls in the dorms. I learned a lot. They helped me as well with my language, because my English wasn't that good back then. And just going into the school was every year was exciting. Just knowing that every single class was dedicated to drawing was exciting. So for me, every class was something worth going and putting some effort. And also showing that I had skills, and it wasn't just an amateur that got there and wanted to draw. I was like, no, right. I know how to draw. I just want to get better. And also, I invested a lot of money on coming here, so I'm not going to waste this.
Right. Plus, you got to meet a lot of great comic book legends. I mean, Lee Weeks, and right, a lot of people that at that school that you got to know.
I love Lee so much.
He is such a nice guy.
I know, right?
Oh my Lord, he is so nice.
I hope I am not making fun of him, but for me, he's like a giant teddy bear, and I love this man. I had the chance to have him as a teacher straight on. So having feedback from him, and you learn that he's a very humble person. He could be whatever he wanted, because he has such a reputation as an artist, but he chooses to stay humble, to stay on, down to earth. And
he is,
for me, that's amazing. That he's a great example of
yeah. I've been talking with him about coming on the show, and again, his responses are really great. I mean, he's very humble, he's very kind. Yes. We're going to work out that date, but he's very nice. Yeah, well, I mean, it looks good. It's just a matter of him cleaning up a few things, and he's got to do.
Gotcha.
John Ottinger's here. Hi, John. Roberto said that you are close to getting a cover for robot work, basically, on a robot book as a variant.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I'm down.
And my mother says hello.
Hi.
Okay, so you're at the Kubert school, you're doing well, you're enjoying it, you're making friends, and now you've graduated and you got to go home.
Yeah. Right? Oh, that was very stressful.
So, I mean, obviously you love your family. This is not asking as a reflection of your family, but are you missing New Jersey? Are you missing America, or are you settled in? You're doing okay? You'll come visit?
My plan was to come home. I did miss my family. For the last 2 or 3 months where I was finishing school, there was a huge uncertainty. How you call it? I wasn't sure about what was going to happen, because I wasn't sure if I was going to stay in United States or if I needed to do any paperwork, visa related. Right. I wasn't sure if I was just going to go back home. So that was kind of very stressful. At the end, I decided to go back home. Luckily, it was right on time, because there were big changes related from the government related to visas and non-immigrant visas and stuff. So I guess I went home in the right moment. But my plan was to go back for the big shows. my plan was to go back for Comic-Con New York, for Emerald City, all those big shows. That was my
Yeah, the
plan.
good one.
And then COVID 19 came, and everything just went, downfall.
Well, postponed just for a little while.
Let's say postponed. But instead of feeling down about it, I took this chance fully and decided to work on myself and decided to full work on my portfolio, because I felt now I have the abilities to have a good portfolio, send it to editorials, to editors, and hope for a good opportunity, which gladly I've been having. I also, as soon as before I graduated, also I had a nice job with Silverline Comics, which it was great. It was a huge, like how you call it, like a door opportunity for me. It helped me had a real experience as an artist. It helped me learn what it actually means to work on in an actual deadline with an actual team. You won't get nice feedback from doing stuff and try again. You do it right, and you have to do it right. So that was a good experience. Very stressful, but I'm really glad I had it. And not to mention, big greatness to the people on Silverline. And thank you again for the opportunity to work on that book. So that's how it was.
Can you tell us about that book?
Yeah, the book the book was called Trump's Comic. It's a fantasy story where everything is inspired and based on how you call it, play cards. That's how you call them, play cards for
Playing
poker.
cards? Yeah.
Playing cards. So you have these 4 kingdoms that are different houses of hearts, diamonds, spades, and clubs. And these 4 kingdoms fight with each other, hoping to be the next Trumps, the strongest kingdom of them all.
So this has nothing to do with the president, though, just to be clear for everybody.
Yeah. To be fun story about that is that when they called me for this project, I wasn't sure what was it about. I just knew I was going to color this book, so they put me in the group, for chat, the group chat for it, and all I see is that the title of the group chat says Trump's Comic, and of course I get nervous. What is this about? I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to get involved in something I am not. I shouldn't. So carefully, I approached Roland, the writer, and asked him, like, what is this about? And then he told me, no, this is a story I wrote a couple of years ago about playing cards and these kingdoms fighting. And then, of course, I could breathe and say, okay, now it sounds like a lot of fun. I like the character, so let's do this. But are you sure about the title? He's like, yes, I'm pretty sure. I know it's not the most, fitting probably. But and I like the answer he gave me, because he said, if people sees it and sees the title and they're like, oh, cool, a comic about the president, they're going to look at it. And if they said, oh, Jesus, no, there's a comic about the president, they're still going to look at it. So it's a win-win.
Okay.
So that's why he decided to keep it. I colored the entire book, and from graduating from school to suddenly having to color 48 pages plus 5 covers was such a before and after for me. It was a lot of work, and everything just came out
good
together.
Experience, and you just bolstering your resume. And Thomas Hedgelin is the artist on that book, right?
Yeah, he was the artist for the second part of the book, because it's a 2 chapters book, and he did the second chapter. His art was amazing.
Yeah, he's a really talented guy.
Detailed, and on the compositions, they were great. And the first part was penciled by Anthony Pereira. Yeah, he did the first part, and also the art was great because it was completely different from Thomas, but also still really good. So it was nice to having to work on 2 different styles, considering I was still like learning on the go.
Sure. And that campaign was successful. Andy's saying he got in the bonus perks as well. Now, is that in late pledge, or is that done? Is that for retail sale anywhere?
That's a great question. I don't know. You can buy it at the Silverline store. You can buy it there. That's for sure. And it's in I
Andy,
don't
if
remember.
Andy, if you know the link, if you could drop it in the chat, I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that we can.
You can have the digital copies, I think, on, I think it was Kablam. I'm so sorry. Oh, they're gonna kill me for not knowing this. But yeah, they
You
are
had to know I was gonna
available.
ask you.
Ah! But yeah, they are available. Yes.
Well, we'll look into that and we'll put the links in the chat so anybody who's interested can go there. Um,
Gotcha.
we got Isadora. I hope I pronounced that right. A good thing a lot of
Yes.
things are now online. So when cons bring people, they do it by video chat, which is way cheaper than flying there. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm telling you, once life is back to normal for me, you're gonna get a list of several commissions.
That's
Unfortunately,
exciting.
shipping is expensive from
Mm.
South America, but I'm telling everybody right now, when shipping is available and Sid is able to do the commissions and send them, the shipping price is well worth what you get because not only is she already affordable to begin with, but after you pay the shipping, you get 2 or 3 commissions in one shot. The shipping is obviously, the price goes down and down in that sense. It is
Yeah.
totally worth it. I love what she's done for me so
Ah,
far.
thank
Again, that
you.
I mean, I don't know who jumped on after, but the RC that she did for me is just phenomenal. Here, I'm going to put this up real quick.
I
Sorry.
really, really like that RC.
This is
Uh,
just incredible. There, that's clean and crisp. Look at that. Look at those lines. Look what she did. And I'm not going to tell you what it cost, but I'm going to tell you now it was so well worth it because it was not expensive. She's very affordable. She's very reasonable.
I'm not cheap. I'm affordable.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look at that detail. That's just incredible. You did the Panthro, but right now I can't show that because that book is been held
All
with another artist for a few months until I see them in March.
right.
But thank you, Andy. Andy put the link in the thinking about the new books yet. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Well, just
Gotcha.
keep going there and just keep going to silverlinecomics.com and check up on what's going on with them, whether it's that
Mm,
book or maybe they have other books coming out on their line, to support them. Definitely
yeah.
check periodically and see what's going on. So
Uh-huh.
let's get this back.
Oh,
Okay.
like a lick right
So you're traditionally, I mean, you're going more to coloring now.
there.
And
Yes.
I had said to you, your pencils are phenomenal. I hope that you continue to look to pencil. I mean, I'd love to see you pencil some books, but you kind of explained to me why you're choosing the coloring route as far as published work and sequential work.
Yes. I love drawing. I love making stories. I love having a script and having to make pages about it. But my problem is that I have a lot of ideas and I get very involved with the project and I really want to put of myself in the project. But there's something that has always like bugged me, or not bugged me, like, this little bug in my head that it's like, okay, but you have this great idea, this great character design, this great angle, this great pose. If you put it in somebody else's work, that idea is gonna belong to that person. And I'm like, no, I want my ideas to be my own. So uh, I decided to work as a colorist, so I am less emotionally involved in the book.
Okay.
Um, I can work on a more how do you call it, practical process as well. I can color, I make my coloring process, and I can follow up almost mechanically without a problem. And that's, at least for me, that's really positive, considering that when I was working for Trump's comic, uh, I had to learn how to color a page a day because there were so many pages altogether, and the deadline was very close. So I had to find a way to color at least a page a day, or half a page, or 3/4 of
Right.
page every day. And that was, I mean, very stressful. But on the other side, it was a great way for me to understand how much work to put on a page, how much detail to put on a page. Is this panel worth all the 3 hours of rendering? No, maybe not. So let's go with the next page. So that in that sense, that all the stress and all these many pages together helped me in that sense, and I learned maybe this is something I can do. I still need to learn a lot about coloring, but I definitely can work on this, and I can say yes, I can offer you a good product with this. As a penciler, I love to do that, but probably for cover art.
Okay.
Yes, I think I'm more into doing an illustration than sequentials, but I am working on sequentials with my own stuff. It's still in production, a very
That's what I was going to
early
ask you.
stage.
So will you
Yes,
do all the pages yourself? Will you pencil, ink, and color your
I
pages?
am doing that. Yeah, I want this project to be the break I have from all the other stuff where I need to follow everybody's
Right.
instructions. And I want this project to be for me as a break to experiment with my stuff, trying new
Right.
things, works. And of course, I'm not rushing it. It's not like I plan on publishing some sort of a pilot episode on March. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not stressed about it.
Okay. Yeah, but that's
Hmm.
right around the corner. So would you crowdfund then on Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
No, I think I would start with a digital release first.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not a story that I'm working just by myself. It's a story that I've been writing with my best friend for the past 8 years.
Okay.
And yeah, we decided, okay, it is time that let's make something with this. We have so much content. We can perfectly do something about it. Let's adapt it. Let's fix it, re-edit, like give it a good edition and make a comic out of it. So that's what we're gonna do.
Very
So
cool.
she's gonna help me with it too.
And you can't tell us anything, I would imagine, at this point about it, right?
It's like 1,001 Nights, but with the robots and some magic happening. It's definitely going to have robots. It wouldn't be a project by me if it doesn't have a robot. It's, but yeah, it's a mixture where everything seems to be attached to the cosmos, and people seems to be the subject of their cosmology and all these forces uh, managing the world they live in until our main character realizes that he can make a change. They're not subject of these forces.
Okay. I think a
So
lot of
with him,
people
we're
need to
gonna.
figure that out.
I hope you guys do. But everything's gonna be released around February. I think I'm gonna start releasing content and
Very
stuff.
cool. I look forward to seeing that. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. I think everybody should. As far as the coloring, do you do the flats for all your pages first and then go back and actually do all the rendering, or do you just go page by page from start to finish?
At first, I was thinking about doing that, but I like going page by page, mostly because the editor also needed the pages to release stuff like advertising and such, so he didn't
Gotcha.
finish products. And I get bored really easily, so I need to change stages. Uh, I need to once I finish the flat. Sometimes I would work on two pages at the same time, but
Okay.
I like it going flats and then the same day doing renders and then the same day finishing it. I wouldn't send that page right away. I would give it like a night to sleep over it and then look at it again and see, okay, I need to make these changes.
I think that's
Uh,
smart.
yeah, because most of the times you're so tired after working on the same file for hours that you don't
Yeah.
even notice what can be fixed. So yeah, I would always leave it a couple of hours, to let it dry and then get back to it and look at it and fix what can be fixed. But
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I think I'm done.
So as someone who is new to this, you're straight out of school and you get this project, which is awesome. How did you feel? I mean, because no matter how good you are, publishers are always going to send edits back. Um,
Yeah.
so how was that? I mean, were you biting your nails like, oh God, I hope they like this, and the next thing you know, you get an edit. Hey, we just need this changed. How did that feel? How did you handle that? For people that are new to this.
Luckily, I was trained to do that at school. We had a couple of assignments, and the teachers would tell us, "You're gonna do a whole cover. You're going to work on this. And in the last process, we're going to ask you to change stuff.
Okay.
So they would teach us to deal with frustration early on. Happened a couple of times. Luckily, the corrections they sent me were more of final stage corrections. Like, the colors are a little too dull. They need to be a little brighter because the printer is going to take it in the wrong way. Luckily, that has been the only things I can get in. But also, that's something else that I like about coloring, because the process I use for coloring is so mechanical that I can make easy fixes very quickly. So I don't think I would get very upset if they send me like, I don't like the colors of this whole panel. Please change the whole concept of it. I don't think I would get that mad. Probably in the very first 5 minutes and yell and speak in be angry in Spanish, then breathe. you don't want to hear a Latin American person upset. We get very upset and we yell our anger out. Otherwise, we don't get better.
So, by the way, Enrique says hola.
Hi.
Enrique, I mentioned at the top of the show, has his Inking with Kike. Sid was a guest on his show a few weeks ago. Go check out Enrique's show. Go back and look at his past episode, and you'll find Sid. Isidora said, that's a similar way how manga artists work on their comics. Are you going at least have other artists helping you with minor tasks?
That's a great question. I might. I think I might. Things like getting a final feedback from a final page, stuff like that. I'm still not sure what my process on working on my pages will be. We're talking about like my own project, right?
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah. So for that, I still don't know what the working process is going to be. I'm not really sure. I think once I figure that out, I may see like, okay, I need people to help me with this so I can, hurry up save a couple of hours. That's always good. But I can't give an actual answer to that yet. Maybe once I'm full on working on that project. For coloring, a couple of times I wished I have somebody help me with the flats because I was really short on time. I was very stressed. I needed to have, I was getting like a little behind schedule, and I really needed somebody to help me making flats, for example. That would be very helpful. Yeah. Sometimes you need that help.
By the way, I thought you... Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I thought you were also a painter. My mistake. Diver Down says, I give myself 5 songs for a commission. I still finish in that time. But I'm an inker, not a painter. You're impressive. I'm Colombian. We're fast as Latin individuals.
Yes.
So I hope I want to see you on some covers. I mean, I would love to see you on IDW Transformers covers. I hope that's what Roberto's talking about. And I have to say, IDW should take a look at you. They'd be foolish not to, for sure.
That's definitely one of my goals. One of the reasons I did my work so hard on my portfolio in the last month was to be able to show it to them, and TKO, Dynamite, not Dynamite, Image Studios, and other companies. But yeah, my main goal has always been IDW. Since I remember, I've been loving Transformers. I grew up with it. I met Transformers with Beast Wars because I'm a 90s kid.
That was a good show.
I truly love it, and I had to get through to all the old judgment of, ooh, that show looks so ugly. I'm not denying it. It looks really ugly, but it was what I had, and I loved it. So, but I always loved Transformers, and every year I would like step away from it, and I would see a new show of the franchise, and get in love with it again. So within the years, I was like, I really wish I can work for Transformers once in my life. And just a few weeks ago, I got an answer for some of the editors. Nothing is confirmed, nothing is clear, but just knowing that I can talk, I have in contact with one of the editors, it's a great step for me. So
sure.
We may have something within the next few months, we may not, but I'm
That would
working
be
on it. I'm
awesome.
working really hard on it. I'm spamming the hell out of these people. But
Well,
yeah.
I have to tell you, no, listen, you do. You got to set a part of being an artist is you got to sell yourself, and it's not just how well you draw, it's how well you work with others. Can you take constructive criticism? Can you take
Mm,
when they send back edits and say correct this? So there's a lot that goes into it. If you even, and these editors are getting thousands and thousands of submissions, whether solicited or
yeah.
unsolicited. So yeah, it's tough. And
Yeah.
Roberto
I
says
work
working
on
on
a.
it.
Ah, Roberto's awesome.
By the way,
I
and
miss. I
uh,
just miss being there so much. I miss conventions. I miss the very active. Let me be obvious. Activity for artists over there in the States. I miss that a lot.
a lot of
And
energy here, right?
yeah, just knowing that being a comic book artist there, it's. I mean, it's not like people goes all well amazed about it, like, whoa, you're a comic book artist, but at least they're like, oh, that's nice, you're studying that. Here the first reaction is like, can you live out of it? Like,
Yeah.
is that a job? I thought that was a hobby. So I miss that. I really miss that. But I can say I have a lot of friends that went into their medicine, like the medicine major, their lawyer major, they're big engineers or big businessmen, but none of them have as many fun stories as I have because of being an artist. Because I have
Absolutely.
had the chance, everybody will be talking about the great business they made, this very stressful surgery they went through, and I just sit back and I say, and I just met Frank Miller. I went to a TED talk with him. And everybody just like, whoa, really, man? I wish I was. I choose to draw. Your life is so awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I may not have as much fun as you guys, but I have so much to share with you, like so many stories. I met so much amazing people. This person taught me. This person I shook hands with. No,
Yeah, at the Kubert School, I mean, like you've met so many names. Can you tell us, like, do you have like your one of your favorite stories about one of the comic book legends that you met, or?
one of them was Lee Wicks. Let's get back to him because I remember we are in class with our main teacher, which is Tom Mandrake, who was in the show a couple of days ago.
Oh, he was
A couple of
supposed to.
weeks
They
ago.
unfortunately had to cancel, but he'll be on.
Oh,
They'll be
that's
on
so
next
sad.
year.
Ah, awesome! Because I would love to see them. But yeah, he was our main teacher for sequential art, which is kind of the best thing ever. And we would have a co-teacher would be with us, and he was Lee Weeks. And of course, I was excited because I love his Daredevil stuff.
Mhm.
I before that I would follow all his cover artwork and such. So knowing that he was coming was pretty exciting. And but I never saw his face. I had no idea who he was. I just knew this concept of a person. And he arrived late to that first day. He was, I don't know, looking for the place. Maybe he got lost. I don't really remember. But we're sat on our class, and he gets into our classroom, and I just see this a little tired man because we were in the second floor, and together you need to go upstairs like 3 times. It is exhausting. So he gets there with his big suitcase full of stuff to show, and he's very quiet. I was expecting somebody like, "Hey, hello, everybody." No, he was like, "Hey, excuse me, this is the okay, okay, I'm gonna sit here," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, who's
Yeah, he has
him?"
no ego. He has no ego whatsoever.
I was in love already, and Tom introduces him. Of course, everybody's just like, "Oh my god, he's sitting right in front of us." I wonder what his first words are gonna be. This very nice big impression, and he's like, "Well, first of all, I'm not really good with words, but this is something I do every time I meet somebody." And he reaches to his pocket and takes a set of playing games and start making magic tricks. And I'm just thriving. I'm like, oh my god, I love this man. He's amazing. I love magic tricks. And since that time, I was just like, I need to talk with this human being. He's amazing. So that was a great impression. And every time we would have class, I was excited to see him because also his feedback was so. It was more than just saying this is right or this is wrong. He would share about his life. He would share about things he lived when he was young. So it was just a very sympathetic situation. For me, it was great. Not to mention that he would bring his own original sometimes, and it was just amazing to see
Oh
an
yeah.
actual Captain America page, a huge double spread page of New York City with this giant zeppelin on the city over the city. It was great. And another story I have, which is kind of a sad one, and I was sick in a convention. I had fever that day. So I was very, not delirious, but my brain was in another kind of timeline. And I remember that in front of my table, right in front of my table, there was the huge booth from Strango. He's there.
Was
Well,
that my
everybody.
show?
Was it? No, I think
Because
it wasn't.
was right across from you at that show.
I think it was probably no. I think it was another one day show, but you were also in there. But it wasn't the Suffolk, or was it? Probably
Well,
not.
it's all right. Go ahead. You were saying.
The thing is that I was sick. I was delirious, but I for somebody like me coming from Latin America, having the chance to meet a legend like him, I had to go talk to this person. So that's what I did. Hold on, for some reason, there you go. I stood up. I shoved all my shyness and embarrassment aside, and all my social anxiety aside, and I went to talk with Mr. Stranko. And of course, he has his aesthetic of a person, this presence. So he never even hesitated talking to me. He dedicated a couple of minutes, and he told me a couple of the fun stories he had, a couple of the arguments he had with Stan Lee and whatsoever. I just and I was smiling to him, nodding. Since it's like, oh, that's awesome, I'm sharing with this man. And then, it was time's up. He had something else to do. So I thanked him for his time, and I went back to my table. And as soon as I sit back down and I look forward, and I can swear to you, I just did not remember anything he told me. I was so feverish. I had so much of a high fever. I couldn't remember anything he told me.
Roberto says it was my show. I wish you told me. I would have taken care of you. I would have got you some Tylenol or some water, or we would have taken care of you. You should have said something.
I had everything. I remember I got Advil with me. I had a lot of water, but it was like my brain was like a flan.
I'm sorry you were feeling like that. Yeah, I didn't get to really talk to you.
I remember, I remember he even gave me like advices, how to like break into the industry or whatever. And I'm like, I had a 10 minutes talk with Saranko, and I don't remember anything about it, so I can't share that story.
Well, hopefully, when I have my 2-day, if you're in the States, Starenko wants to be back, so maybe you'll get to see him again, and you'll remember this time, and you'll feel better.
Yeah, I so want to go back to the States. I so miss conventions.
Hi, Heather. Heather says hello.
Hi.
Jim, thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Appreciate the support. Andy wanted to ask you, who's your favorite Transformer and why is it Hopper?
You mean this man? He's my favorite man. I love him. Look at him. He's great.
Nice.
Why I love this man? I don't know. I hated him when I met him. This guy. It all started when I started watching Transformers G1 from the 80s for the first time. And I'm just watching this show. I remember my favorite character always being Optimus Prime, this knight, this guide. And every time the characters had a plan to fight the Decepticons or something like, okay, we're gonna save these people, let's go, roll out. And then this ugly orange and purple guy would appear. It's like, why are we gonna even do that? Like, what's the point? We still can't get home, and they still get seconds later, and everybody's like, shut up. And I hated this guy. I'm like, he's so ugly, and he has nothing good to say. I'm so mad. And every time he would appear would be to just give some very pessimist comment, to the point that in the next episode I would be like, I wonder if this guy's gonna appear again to say something annoying. And within time, hate turned into love, because I was like, I hate this guy and I love this guy because he's so annoying.
So
And
that's how
later
my
on,
wife felt for me then, I guess.
oh jeez. Well, later on, I decided to invest some time meeting the characters, see what the hell with it. I was also fascinated for that single scene that everybody remembers when Optimus Prime gets injured by an attack or something, and he can't carry his convoy, his container. And this little guy who's like not even he doesn't even reach Optimus' knee. He's super tiny. He's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna carry it. And he just grabs the container and attaches to him like nothing. So for me, it was like, oh, it's a very strong little guy. So that was another little plus. And later on, I invest some time reading about him, and I learned that he was an engineer, that he's pessimist because the war made him what he was, and I was even more interested and more interested to the point that now I just truly love the character. I have made an entire persona out of him because there isn't much information, like content about him. But the more time passed, the more I just liked him. And every time I would see any tiny little bit of him in the comic books or in an animation or whatever, I was just happy. I liked him because he's rare too. You can
The
imagine my
obscure
face.
character.
Yeah, you can imagine my reaction when the latest toy line came out. They just released it, and he is one of the characters that is going to have a new toy. I super thrilled. I already bought it. I don't know when it's going to be here, but I already bought it. So yeah, I love Huffer. That's why I love him, because he's annoying and upsetting, but he still does the job. You know, he still works to
And the
help
littlest guy
everybody.
can make the biggest difference.
I know, right? He's great.
Yeah, I eventually want to get a my favorite Transformer is Soundwave,
Oh, he's
and
amazing.
I want to get
Genuine.
you drawing Soundwave with all of his cassettes out around him,
Uh,
and one of them like Laserbeak coming out of his chest and just turning into Laserbeak from the
ah,
cassette, and him like
that,
pointing forward. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Don't worry about that.
I love
Uh,
Soundwave.
Isidora said, "Oh my God, I know that feeling of being so hyped you don't remember what you talked about with someone you admire." And the thing about Starenko is he is a great storyteller, and he
Hmm.
does have this presence about him. I mean, he um he is ego personified, and he will tell you stories, and he captivates you with what he's saying. So I'll give him that. And he hit on my wife, but that was another story. Anyway,
Ah,
he didn't know she was my wife though, so
I see.
he didn't know she was married. He didn't realize. So he wasn't being a
Gotcha.
sleaze. He was just being
A
Starenko.
gentleman. It's
Yeah.
Durango. Gotcha.
So
That's
good.
amazing.
Look, good for you, man. If you're 80 something years old and you're still looking to talk to 30-year-old women, 30, good for
Sometimes it's not
you.
about the age, it's about, the natural
Persona.
charm of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it. Good for him. Um. So yeah, I feel bad that's how you were feeling at my show. I didn't even know. I had no clue.
It was such a weird dream because there was a point where I wasn't even sure if I was actually there. It was an experience.
So everybody at my show, I have hallucinating artists. Come on down. So what projects? I mean, you were talking about your creator-owned project, but are you
Mhm.
working on anything right now, a published work, or are you going to be that you can talk about, or is that all hush hush?
In a few, I haven't been told that it's going to be a hush hush, but I am working on a project that it's called The Lost Tales.
Okay.
It's a fantasy book uh, with a touch of like a manga touch in the style. So I'm very interested about it.
Will you be
Um,
coloring that or penciling that?
I will be coloring it, and I got into that project because the penciler and inker, she reached out to me. She's an old friend, and she also liked Transformers. So we met through Transformers, and after many years that we haven't been in contact, she saw my latest work, and she talked to me and asked me if I was interested on this project, which I was. I wanted to keep working as a colorist. I want to keep expanding my process, just get better. So that's what I'm going to be working very soon. The new pages are coming by. Uh, I'm not sure when are they going to be done, but I'm going to be, updating my in my social media and such when it's going to be. How is that thing going?
So It's looking very good. Very nice.
Hey.
I So you said that shipping is not possible right now because of everything, but you're open for digital commissions if anybody wants.
Yes, I am. I just shared the commission information on my website. Uh, Currently, it's not like I can take on big, how you call it, big orders. Mostly because we're in holiday season, and I just got into rather three jobs that are kind of a little the deadline
Good
a
for
little
you.
tight. Yes, I'm really excited. But the deadline is kind of a little tight. So I'm gonna be fully open on commissions and doing more activity like that. I think after New Year, I will be just taking orders and stuff.
Okay.
Hmm.
So again, her website is scrolling below right down there.
Yeah.
sidvenblue-art.com. That's where you find her website. And of course, you can find her on Instagram at Sketchy Sid and Twitter at Sid Venblue. Um,
Currently, currently, I'm working on I've dedicated my last months on doing my portfolio, but also because I decided uh, that I am already in a stage where I can work on my brand, on my own artist persona.
sure.
So I've been working on unifying all my social media, keeping the same name. Just today, I finished my website. That's what I'm really excited about it. And eventually, in the last new year, my deadline, my personal deadline to publish everything together, it's gonna be New Year where I'm gonna make a giveaway, an art giveaway activity. That's how you call it, a
Cool.
giveaway. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna publish all that information very soon. When I'm gonna be doing like an art raffle and some other activity that involves doing art.
Very cool. And do you do any live drawings on Instagram or anything like that on your pages for anybody to go check out? Or have you thought about a
That's
Patreon?
that is one of the things that I want to add up to this new stage of a professional artist in my social media. I want to start adding, for example, this doing live drawing, or at least to share my process of videos of my artwork.
Nice.
I'm doing live stream. It's a little complicated because we are six people in my house and we are all sharing internet. We all use a lot of internet. So doing live stream, it's a little tough sometimes. So I think it's going to be more about sharing time lapse videos,
Gotcha.
things like that. But
By the
that's
way,
one of the things I'm going to work on.
just to let you know, yes, sorry, Roberto Jimenez is the owner of Artist Allies. So if you do want commissions through Sid, reach out to him. Again,
Yeah.
commissions at artistallies.com. That's where you can get your commissions for Sid, as well as many other people that Roberto represents. Uh, I'm going to tell you now, Roberto has some great artists under his banner of Artist Allies, including Ben Harvey, John Jiang. So go check out artistallies.com and
Awesome.
you'll see some great stuff.
Ben is an
Um,
awesome person. John, too.
and Andy said that the new site looks great. He loves the logo.
Thank you. It's my tattoo. Look at that. I'm so official.
Nice. Very cool. So one of the things I was going to ask you is, do you fully pencil before you ink, or do you finish up with inks? But as you can see through your drawing, that you did all the robotic parts tight. Um,
Hmm.
the I know you have her Christmas. What would you call it? A
It's like a little poncho.
poncho. Now,
Mhm.
is that just lighter pencil? That's why it's coming out lighter, or you plan on
Yes.
darkening the pencil and then inking it? Or are you just gonna ink that straight the way it is?
I think I'm gonna be a little more experimental because I have some screen tones saved. I found them today morning. So I was thinking maybe instead of coloring this full on, I'm gonna use screen tones to color her, to give her different grays.
Cool.
And I think that this little poncho thing is gonna be like a dark screen tone. Her pink parts are gonna be a lighter screen tone, and and the little fluff is gonna be something different. So yeah, I'm gonna. It's still very soft because I'm still figuring it out, but I have a main idea more or less of what it's gonna look like. I like having tighter pencils for the middle part, just
Right.
because I don't think too much when I'm inking. So I need at least to have a clear line of where to throw the stroke.
So,
I only do
you-
that with my own work. When I'm inking somebody else's stuff, which I've done, I need a tighter, something tighter. Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I know some artists, they'll do a rough and then they'll tighten it up with the inks, and some artists are not comfortable doing that. They need to do the tight pencils and then they'll ink over that. But
Yeah.
can you traditionally color, or do you just digitally color?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love traditional colors. Hold on. Let me show off some stuff. I love using markers. I have a couple of. Look at that. I love using markers. I love using
Nice.
watercolors. I love using gouache. It's just I don't count with a proper working space for traditional art. I only have one desk, sadly, which is this drawing desk that I love. I invested in it because sadly in Chile you can't find drawing desk like the ones you can tilt and with like the
Right.
cool drawers. You don't have that. So I'm still keeping all my tradition, my acrylics and stuff somewhere else. But I love painting. I love doing, which is something I learned that I love during Kubert school, because before that I hated everything related to paint. Um, it was just I didn't understand it, and then thanks to Kim the Molder, I found out that painting can be a lot of fun. So I think once I get like a proper station to work on the additional stuff,
Mhm.
I'll get full on and do more watercolors because I love watercolors and markers.
Is there an artist that you've never met before that you would absolutely just embarrass yourself if you met him or her?
Definitely, Stan Sakai. I'm
Okay.
matched with this man, and I think if I meet him, I'm going to start crying and unable to English or even Spanish.
That's great.
He has changed my life with his work, so I even get excited when I talk about him.
I was
I
gonna
love this
say
man.
you can see you can see you now just talking about him.
I
Wasn't
love Stan Sakai, and I have a story with him too.
Go ahead, tell us.
Well, I for school we had to make like a flattering caricature of a person. You know, when you have like the big head of the person on the like a tiny body, but
Yeah.
without making fun of the person. It's more like a cute little caricature for them. And I decided to make one of Stan Sakai. He's working on Usagi Yojimbo on his desk, and like a little window showing Asian Japan and all that. And luckily, it came out really good. And my teacher told me, "Why don't you just send it over to him?" I was like, no, he's like a very cool, awesome man. Why would I ever dare to send something
That's
like
very
a
nice.
commoner,
Very
to somebody like
compliment.
him? But yeah, he convinced me, and I decided to send it. I contact him through the website, and well, I got some sort of like a rep to write back to me. But she was really nice, and she told me that yeah, I could send the drawing to this address, and she sent me the address, and I'd wrap it up, and I send it, literally not expecting anything, because you never know that, you know, like this people is so busy and so much people talking to them, you don't really expect an answer. I took for granted that the drawing was going to be gone, and that's it. And short after I got school finished, my second year was over and I went back home. So I was here in Chile, just, you know, just enjoying my summer break, which is winter over here. So it was cozy having mate. And my roommate, who I was sharing an apartment with, tells me that I got a package from California. And I'm like, I know nobody from California. And she sends me a picture of this package, and this package has this tape, and the tape has the design of Uzagi, like the samurai rabbit taped on the package. And of course, I start screaming because I'm like, oh my god, they that the only reason I get that is because they got the drawing. So uh, I suffered the rest of my summer holiday, my summer break, because I was in Chile and I wanted to go back to Jersey to get my package.
Oh man.
So the
Oh
next 2 months
no.
were very torturing. As soon as I got there, the first thing I did was to drop my luggage and get the package that was on a table. I was by myself because my roommate had to go home to her house. So I see this package, and it's kind of a thick little package, book-sized package, and I carefully open the thing, and I see 2 books, a sketchbook and a hardcover edition of his latest book. I'm screaming. I'm really excited. I can't believe I got this. Both of them are signed, and inside of one of them has a handwritten letter by him
Oh
telling
wow.
me that he was really flattered and that he loved the drawing I did of him. He saved it well, and he was really happy because when I sent the drawing, I sent a little letter too, telling him that I loved his work, that Usagi meant a lot for me, that I learned so much with his artwork. Not just the book itself, but just knowing that the big difference of you don't have to have a specific style to make a good story. You
Right.
don't have to have a superhero, American superhero style to make a good comic book. You can make humanoid animals in Japanese
Sure.
clothes fighting each other to have an amazing story. So for me, that was very meaningful. And he thanked me for those words. He wished me best of luck for my last year at the Kubert school, and that he gave me these 2 books of his 2 of his favorite books and his last sketchbook as a thank you present for the drawing I did of him.
That was really
Uh,
cool.
you can't even imagine me just, I was alone in the apartment, so I gave myself the right to just jump and scream and dance. It was amazing. I think it's the closest contact I will ever have with him. So
Hey, you don't know. You don't know.
yeah, I
Don't
never
rule things
know.
out. You never
I
thought you'd
never
be getting a
know.
package from him. You never thought the art would get to him.
I know,
Never say
right? And
never.
I'm super excited. I have them there. I love those books. His
And
little
what?
letter, I think I'm gonna frame it.
Who was the faculty member at Kubert that told you to? Why don't you send it?
Tom Harden.
I don't
I don't know if you
know.
know Tom
Well, did
Harden.
you? What did you go tell Tom? Hey, look, he actually,
Oh yeah! As soon as the new year started at school, I went. It's like, hey, you remember that this drawing I did? Yeah. Well, I sent it and I got this back, and he's like, I told you to do it. It was a really good drawing. I'm
that is
thriving, of course.
cool.
So
That is
yes,
cool. I love
I
stories
owe
like that.
myself. Yeah, I need to meet this man. But I am almost certain that as soon as I see this man, I'm gonna freeze. I won't be able to English or to Spanish and probably cry. And I just told him like, thank you.
He's a very gentle, sweet guy though. So what I would say is,
Uh,
some people say be careful meeting your quote unquote heroes.
yeah,
He is not one that I've ever seen a story where someone regretted meeting him.
yeah,
So
because I have had some of those too. Meeting people that you really admire, and then you realize it wasn't what you that persona you
let me
thought
give
it
it to you in English terms. They were a dick.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
But the good
no.
news is it's
In my
not
case,
most
the
of them
person
though.
wasn't. In my case, the person wasn't. I wasn't that, but it was just disappointing in a
Yeah.
boring way. I was like,
Ah,
wow, oh,
well,
oh,
some of
oh,
them are
okay.
dicks.
Yeah,
But the
no,
good
he
news is
wasn't.
most of them are awesome people. Most of them are really cool people. I mean, I can name a
Yeah,
hundred great people for every one person that was disappointing.
yeah.
All
I met
kidding
amazing people.
aside,
Well, one of the people that I loved sharing with, it's not like I do every time, but the chances I had to talk with him have been great. It's Livio Ramondelli.
oh, yeah, I had
He's
him on the
another
show, and I was
guy.
going to tell you, do you
Yeah, I
know Livio?
remember
Because
that.
he's the Transformer guy from IDW. He is such a
Uh,
nice, down to earth guy.
he's an amazing person. I had
Yeah,
the
he's
chance to
cool.
talk with him at New York Comic Con in 2017. In 2018, I went to visit him again just to say hi. And 2019, I was also in New York Comic Con, so he was doing a signing, and I went again. And I'm like, "Hey, hi, how's it going?" Shared a little bit. I showed him my portfolio. He liked what I did. In another little show, we were together, and I drew a little robot cop to him, and he drew me a hover in return. So that
Oh,
was awesome
cool.
too. He's
Yeah,
a
he's
great
going to
guy.
be in the same sketchbook that you drew Arcee for me. He's going to be on the cover, probably,
Uh,
Optimus.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
he makes amazing covers. I love all these. environment light he makes.
Yeah,
That's
he just put out his little sketchbook that I got from him. He sent me with all the covers that he's done for IDW. Have you seen
I
it?
look. I'm looking forward to get. I think not, but
It's
I'm looking forward to
beautiful.
get his Kill Log books. I can't have them
Excellent
from
book.
here. I know I
Excellent
want to
book.
have it, but I can't yet. So I'm gonna have wait. I'm gonna have to wait until I get there, maybe to the States to
Yeah.
buy it.
Well, you
And
have a lot of reasons and a lot of things to do, so save up your money when you come here.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh
Hi,
no, if I'm
Keith.
going
Thanks
back,
for
I'm
coming
gonna
out.
go.
Keith
Hi.
says hi.
If I ever got to the States again, I would go for like a month to at
Oh,
least
you
two
will.
shows
You'll
or
be
something.
back. Roberto will get you on some big shows again, like New York. I'll be getting commissions from you left, and me alone, I'll probably be able to pay for your next 3 years of life. But
Don't
I'm
make those
very
promises. I'm gonna take them.
no, I am very serious about this. You I hope this comes out the right way. You may not be a household name yet, but you will be if you're not, because your pencil work is unbelievable. This Arcee is the cleanest, tightest. I mean, I just remember I expected it to look great, but when you gave it back to me, I mean, my jaw like hit the floor. I dropped, and I'm an art collector. I collect a lot of art and from a lot of different people, and I couldn't believe the piece that you put in this book. It is the best piece out of all like 7 sketchbooks I have going on. No disrespect to the artists, because I've got some great, amazing art in there, but that piece is just unbelievable. And I'll be honest with you, Arcee is not like my favorite character,
Oh
but it's just,
really?
but she looks fantastic. It just looks so fantastic. And the Voltron versus Ghidorah that you did for me,
Oh,
and the
I love.
Gachamon. Yeah, can I show that again? Because people
Of
came in
course,
late.
please
I
do.
want to show them that Gachamon.
I
So go ahead. You were saying.
no, I just those pieces were amazing to work on, just because it was a kick back to my childhood, so that was exciting. I don't know, having to look for the references and all that. Um, like in Voltron's case, it was very nice to figure out the composition of the drawing, and then I asked you like, who would you like to be winning? You told me that you choose a side. I didn't even think about it twice. I wanted Ghidorah to be the dominant side, and just like almost like eating Voltron with all these 3 heads. It was a lot of fun. I wish I had a good scanner to get a copy of them, but that's not the case.
Yeah, for
So
me to take it out of the frame, it's on the wall, and because of the way the wall was, the way I hung it, if I take the frame off the wall, it's gonna be a pain in the rear end to put it back on.
no
But
problem.
let me show everybody this though. This is the again anybody who came late. This is the Gachamon or Battle of the Planets that she did for me. I mean, beautiful. The fiery phoenix in the background. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing. I didn't know there was a live action Battle of the Planets, Keith.
Yeah, it was from 2014. I have that movie. It's like a
Oh, it
big.
was a
It's like a
movie I
long.
heard.
Yeah, it's like a long episode. I don't remember it being like a great story, but remember loving the whole production of it. There's a very cool fight between the main guy and this giant sphere robot destroying the city, and you see this thing just fighting between buildings and stuff, and it looks amazing. It was a lot of fun for me to watch it.
I'm gonna try to blow this up. It's gonna be fuzzy. I'm sorry, guys, but just to get the idea, look at the composition. Ghidorah is on all sides. Voltron's sword ain't saving him today. This just looks, it's just beautiful. Look at the scale work and everything, just phenomenal. I just wanted to show those again. A couple things. Sarah says we need to get the team back together again. By the way, Sarah will be a guest in the new year on the show as well.
Oh,
Another
really?
phenomenally talented artist.
That's
Sarah at that same
awesome.
show did a Miss Marvel, a Warbird. You know, she's one of my favorite characters. The Carol Danvers Warbird, Miss
Oh,
Marvel,
cool.
and that looks awesome. We're going to show you that on Sarah's show. So
Awesome.
that was awesome.
Huge,
Isidora says,
huge
"I love Sid's
regard.
art."
Yeah. Isidora, she's a very close friend. She lives in Chile. I'm really happy she's watching the show. Uh, she has supported me a lot as well through these years. I know her from since college, and she also draws. Her artwork is really cute. So
Yeah.
big greetings to her. And
Well,
Sarah, she's amazing. Sarah is the funniest girl. She's the best to go out for food, and we every time we would go to conventions, she would pick me up and we would drive for at least 6 hours, just singing and singing Japanese music both together. It was driving her with her, traveling with her is the best. She's amazing. So hi, Sarah, you're awesome. I miss you.
Andy says, yeah, she's pretty cool, I guess.
I do. I think we owe each other Andy as well because the three of us love food, so we owe each other going out for a big dinner or something.
By the way, Sarah and Isidora, please, any website links or anything you want to put in the chat, please do. We promote everybody here. Feel free to put any links or websites that you want to promote yourselves and your work in the chat. Keith, she had mentioned, what's his name again? The Transformer that is your favorite. We had talked about it earlier. Huffer, that's it.
Huffer.
So if you go back and watch the first hour, Keith. Who's the other one?
I love Huffer and this Tanuki guy here. Probably everybody knows him. He's like a little raccoon dog buddy. I love him too.
I don't know that one.
He is from the Japanese stories from Beast Wars. And one of the reasons I like it, he's from Beast Wars Neo. He's kind of obscure, but I really like him because he's one of the few characters that can stop time, which makes him kind of a very powerful character. But even though he has this huge power, he's super low profile. He's really chill, almost like drunk chill, and he keeps it low, and everybody's just like, nobody cares about him. And he's like, yeah, here I am. By the way, I stopped time. And I just really like him. I think it's a nice opposite from my grumpy guy Huffer that's always complaining about life. Like he's just like, the life is great.
Sarah says she misses you too. She misses you too.
I miss everybody there. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm drinking mate. It's my coffee. It keeps me awake. Please understand, it's 12 a.m. over here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to wrap things up, but it was so nice to have you on the show.
It was awesome being here.
I am very grateful for the wonderful art that you have done for me. That is only the beginning of what's going to be. I wish I could show, but the Voltron is hanging up on the wall there. The Gatchaman is upstairs. And I am. If you don't know Sid's art, you need to. She's really talented. Also, as you can see, a really nice, wonderful person that you'd be supporting. And she can ink and color. And I mean, wow, unbelievable. So just to reiterate, if you do want commissions from her, it'll be a little while, but you go to artistallies.com. Roberto, her agent, put the link in here. You can also find Sarah Medora on there. She is also a rep. And Sarah is also a very, very talented artist. I loved the Warbird she did for me. It was fantastic. So I cannot say enough good things about Sarah as well. But Sid, thanks for coming out. Thanks for being a part of the show.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I really hope you come back to the States soon. I would love to see you again. I hope to become a big enough show that you know, maybe someday you can make the trip to get here. But I will be in touch with you for commissions when you're available, and when I'm back to work in the next few months. But otherwise, I would say I wish you luck on all your projects. I wish you well with your creator-owned, which I will keep an eye out and, of course, help support it in any way I can. And there's your social media, and we'll leave that up for a second.
I will finish this drawing and share it on my social media very soon, and it's going to be available as an original for whoever is interested on it.
Excellent. And I think you're very wise working on your brand and getting you out there, because there are a lot of great artists that just people don't know about them because of marketing or promotion or whatever. Your work will sell itself. Your work will speak for you. So
thank you so much. You've been incredibly supporting since the very first time I met you. So I'm really thankful for that, really.
Well, I mean, again, I like to know that not only am I getting some amazing work, but it's going to people who deserve my hard-earned money, and you fit the bill on both of those. So I cannot say that enough. That we touched on earlier, meeting. Sometimes you're disappointed in the people you meet. I know that when I'm spending my money on commissions from you, it's going to someone I want to support, and I'm getting this amazing piece of art on my wall. So I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We
Thank
hope you return
you.
to the States soon. Andy says it's good to see
Mhm.
you. Sarah says when you come back, there are more food adventures. Maybe, I'm a fat Irishman. Maybe I can get in on these food adventures.
That would be great. That would be awesome.
Andy says he loves every piece you've made for him as well. We should
Oh,
have had Andy.
yes.
Andy could have sent them to me in Facebook, and I could have put them up for him. But next time.
Oh, yeah, they're really nice Star Wars pieces 'cause I also really like Star Wars. So.
Oh yeah, I gotta get you to do some Star Wars droids for me, or even like, oh, you know what?
Yes.
You have to do
Mm.
General Grievous for me.
That's my favorite freaking droid in the entire
Yes.
franchise.
Oh, we have to do a mashup, like Grievous versus some other robot or something. We'll figure it out. But yes, that's on the agenda.
Yes. Awesome.
Sid, if you could stay backstage just for a minute, I'm going to say my C's,
Mhm.
and I'd like to say have a good night and all that. If it's not too late, I know it's late. All right.
Well, yep. Everybody have a good night. Happy holidays. And yeah, we'll see. I see you soon later.
Awesome. Thanks, Sid. Have a great night. All right, so that was Sid Venblue. Again, a really, really nice person and amazing artist, as if you didn't know. Please go support artists. Remember, I know that everybody loves the big name people, and I'm not saying don't buy from them, but Sid could very well be that next big name. Whatever pieces you get from her now could very well be that grail piece that people would want someday. And I'm telling you, she's on her way. So support them, support support the Sarah Maduras of the world and the Isadora Vergara and Sid. Support them, please. They're really talented. They work very hard. Sometimes they probably feel like they're going through an uphill battle. Try to make that hill a little less steep for them, okay? Let's support each other. Let's build this community up. And you know what? Christmas is not here yet, but I'm telling you, you could get some great art for very affordable prices from them for Christmas gifts or New Year's gifts or Hanukkah gifts or whatever. So please do that. I just want to let you all know that Christmas obviously is this week, but Sunday night I have Adelso Corona coming on, a friend of mine. As you know, Adelso is a great inker, and he's on some amazing projects right now. So come check out Sunday night special episode with Adelso Corona, making up for unfortunately had to cancel last month. And then Tuesday we have, in my opinion, one of the best in the business. Absolutely love his work. He's also a pleasure to talk to at conventions. Bob McLeod, co-creator of the New Mutants, inker, penciler, you name it. He's been on Superman, you name it. So we got two awesome guests coming up. Sunday we got Adelso Corona, and Tuesday we have the great Bob McLeod. So with that, I'm just going to say I wish everyone a happy Hanukkah and a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Any other holidays that I'm not aware of, I apologize. But happy holidays to everyone. And Merry Christmas. I hope Santa spoils everyone. Be healthy and be safe. Be with family. And please just have wonderful holidays and be good to each other. Not just because it's Christmas, but because we should. Okay? And I will leave you with what I always leave you. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.